Transportation is so superb.
The level of accommodation is better.
Very close to the Prophet Mosque.
I felt I should still be here to still worship more.
The changes have been so magnificent, so incredible.
Medina was a wonderful experience.
They exceeded our expectation.
For me, the Hajj service scheme is something which we must start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of the program as you answer the call. The implementation of the luggage policy introduced by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON has helped in addressing a number of challenges associated with pilgrims' luggage delivery. It also streamlined airlift operations among others. As preparations for the 2020 Hajj gathers momentum, our Spotlight segment will highlight the key aspects of the luggage policy in order to educate prospective pilgrims on the do's and don'ts of luggage handling. Also in the program, we shall bring our regular segments such as the NAHCON News Diary. Top on the lineup, Nigerian delegation in Saudi Arabia for the second round of pre-Hajj visit. These are more shortly. Please stay tuned. I am Binta Magaji, standing in for a regular host. Thanks for being there. We begin the program with the news diary as presented from our studio. As part of its preparations for 2020 Hajj exercise, the leadership of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON, led by its chairman Alhaji Zikrullah Kunle Hassan and representatives from states, the FCT and armed forces have had series of meetings with service providers and other stakeholders in Saudi Arabia. In the course of the meetings, a range of issues include negotiations for prices of accommodation and catering services. To this end, NAHCON chairman signed contract agreements with the establishment of mudawwifs for pilgrims from Africa, non-Arab countries known as Muassasa. Similarly, another contract was signed with Hafil Company for the transportation of Nigerian pilgrims from Medina to Mecca or Jeddah to Medina and back to Mecca. Before signing the contracts for accommodation with property owners, apartments and facilities were inspected by NAHCON officials. During the inspection tour of the apartments, NAHCON team took conscious note of the following: capacity of accommodation, number of rooms, number of toilets, dining area, meeting hall and mosque. Others are visitors lounge, provision for physically challenged persons, number of staircases, number of lifts and their capacity, as well as quality of facilities in each room. Also considered was the distance of the accommodation to Haram Mosque and its proximity to Radidiyah route. Other requirements NAHCON sought to know from the service providers was the details of each company, particularly the operational licenses to serve pilgrims. NAHCON also sets criteria for the caterers to comply with before engaging their services. The criteria are location of kitchen facilities, capacity of kitchen to serve pilgrims, staff strength of the kitchen, type and number of delivery vans, and operational licenses, and many more. While in Medina, the delegation held a meeting with Medina service providers known as Adila, where NAHCON sought for more support from the Adila for better service delivery to Nigerian pilgrims. The second pre-Hajj visit is a consolidation of the first one, which took place 3 months ago, during which different MOUs were signed between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. The various contracts entered are factors that play key roles in determining the price of the Hajj fare. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON has called on Nigerians planning to go for Umrah to suspend the arrangement until further notice. A statement by NAHCON Head of Public Affairs Fatima Sanda Usare says The decision has become necessary following the temporary suspension of Umrah trip by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a precautionary measure against the spread of coronavirus infection. The suspension affects those who have already been issued with visas and are about to embark on the journey, as well as those planning to do so. The measure was taken in line with approved international standards in curtailing the spread of the disease. The statement further says the federal government of Nigeria has taken the necessary steps to prevent the disease in Nigeria. NAHCON therefore urges all stakeholders to comply with the directives, saying it will cooperate with the Saudi government in the interest of humanity. Alhamdulillah, if you're just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation on the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON. Having recorded successes in the implementation of the policy on pilgrims' luggage handling, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is not relenting in its effort to sustain the gains in subsequent Hajj exercises. In this segment, we shall focus on the key features of the policy and how past experiences can be deployed in addressing the problem of luggage handling in the upcoming Hajj.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Prior to the introduction of the luggage policy by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, Nigerian pilgrims have had to go through unpleasant experiences. These include loss of luggage, late delivery by airliners after the Hajj, cases of pilgrims carrying contraband materials, and problems of excess luggage. However, the reforms introduced by NAHCON in luggage handling have turned things around. In line with this policy, there are now specifications on the weight allowed for each category of pilgrim's luggage. A pilgrim, for instance, is entitled to only 32 kg luggage for the main bag and 8 kg for the handbag. This requirement is in conformity with international best practices for air carriers. The head of Broadcast Media Division at NAHCON, Abubakar Bello Kaoje, speaks on the impact of the policy.
There is a luggage committee, standing luggage committee every year, who will go round to all the pilgrims' accommodation. Whenever there is a flight for pilgrims of any state, the committee will go there. During the boarding of pilgrims to the airport, they will make sure that no pilgrim boards the bus with the multiple luggage. You have to board with the one luggage.
The two categories of the bags are carefully designed and produced to further support the policy. The quality of the bags is also not compromised.
Committee who will go through all the states to ensure that they comply with all the specifications, that is, to direct their manufacturers to comply with all the specifications. In fact, without complying to the specification, it will even attract sanction.
Tags on the bags carry instructions warning pilgrims of the danger of carrying prohibited items. Such items include harmful objects like knives or needles, inflammable items such as perfumes and insecticides, color nut, and paper. Furthermore, NAHCON discourages pilgrims from carrying other pilgrims' luggage during screening at airport to avoid incidences of bad elements swapping bags containing contrabands. For ease of handling excess luggage, it is now made the responsibility of cargo carriers who have been licensed to do so by NAHCON.
Engaging some excess luggage carriers who will take the excess luggage from the pilgrims with a certain amount, charging amount. So if a pilgrim has excess, instead of being left not knowing what to do, there are provision of excess luggage, and this excess luggage are also approved by NAHCON. NAHCON screens and process them duly to to undergo this work. So if there is any default, you can refer to the NAHCON. But if you go outside the approved, NAHCON will have no hand. So I will advise the pilgrims to always patronize those approved excess luggage carriers. I can tell you now the inconveniences involved in carrying your luggage, your bag to the waiting center by the pilgrims is now over. Pilgrims will only bring his bag to the reception of their hotels, and it will be processed. That is one. Two, if you go to the airport, in the past we used to spend hours in screening of our pilgrims, but with this screening method now, I think we have faster screening process. Pilgrims will just be screened easily within a short period of time.
No doubt, the luggage policy has addressed a number of challenges, including the experience of pilgrims spending days awaiting the arrival of their luggage.
With the coming of luggage policy, the conveyance of luggage now is done in the most convenient way. As the pilgrims goes home, he goes with his own bag. In fact, so many of our pilgrims, when they come back, they will meet their bag there waiting for them. Unlike before, you will be waiting endlessly. In fact, sometimes you will not even see the bag.
Very central to these successes is the support the policy enjoys from all stakeholders, particularly pilgrims and officials. NAHCON, therefore, wants to ensure that prospective pilgrims for 2020 Hajj are armed with the knowledge of the luggage policy. In the meantime, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, says it will not relent in its efforts to sustain the gains in subsequent Hajj exercises, particularly the aspect of educating pilgrims on the importance of the policy.
MashaAllah, you're still watching as you answer the call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj. Tonight, Imam Yaqub Al-Hassan will take us through discussions on the Ihram as a major pillar of Hajj and Umrah. Let's hear the discussion.
Ihram, or declaration of intention, is one of the pillars of Hajj or Umrah. When and where are pilgrims expected to declare intention or assume Ihram for Hajj or Umrah? What are the do's and don'ts for those in the state of Ihram? On Making the Hajj tonight, Imam Yaqub Al-Hassan provides answers to these and other questions. He begins by explaining the position of Ihram in the course of the Hajj or Umrah.
Ihram consists of verbal and non-verbal acts. The verbal acts is the intention by saying the niyyah of the type of Hajj you are expected to perform or you want to perform, or the Umrah. And the non-verbal acts is entering into a state of the Ihram itself. The verbal action of Ihram is the intention of performing Hajj or Umrah. That is the saying of Labbaika Hajjan. If you are performing a single Hajj, and if you are performing Umrah first before Hajj, that is Hajj Tamattu, combining Hajj and Umrah, then the saying of Labbaik Allahumma Umratan, Labbaika Umratan Mutamatti'an biha ila al-Hajj. Or if you are combining Hajj and Umrah, Labbaik Allahumma Hajjan Umratan wa Hajjan. That is combining together. Ihram is a compulsory aspect of Hajj. Without Ihram, generally there is no Hajj. That's the beginning of the act of Umrah or Hajj. So Ihram is one of the pillars, compulsory aspect of Hajj.
When declaring intention, pilgrims are expected to take the ritual bath, cut their nails and hair, among others.
On arrival to the miqat, a pilgrim is expected to perform so many acts, recommended acts. Basically, general cleanliness. A pilgrim is expected to take bath just like the normal bath, and then doing it like the bath of janaba, or the normal ritual bath, but with the intention of ihram. Then the pilgrim is expected also to trim his body here, the hair in his body, and also to cut to the nails, the fingernails of his body. Also, pilgrim is expected to shave off the armpit hair and pubic hair in general. So general cleanliness is recommended.
When assuming the ihram, must it be at the miqat? And what is the status of a pilgrim's Hajj who passed the miqat before declaring intention?
When somebody passes miqat without declaring his intention of Hajj, he must come back to the miqat and utter and then observe the ihram, definitely. Otherwise, he is expected to expiate this with a expiation by to atone the sins committed, definitely. But the best thing is for him to come back to the miqat and then observe his ihram.
What type of clothes are men and women allowed to wear?
It's compulsory to take up the sewn clothes in your body. That's the trouser, the shirt, t-shirt, whatever you are wearing, the turban, the cap, completely, the shoe. Then to wear two unsewn cloth, basically, or preferably white, up and down, the top rida and the izar. Basically, there is no specific cloth, prescribed for women to wear during ihram. But the clothes that women are expected to wear must cover the rules and regulations of hijab, whether it's in ihram or not in ihram. The cloth must cover her body. The clothes must not be colorful that attracts attention. It must not be thin that you can see through her. It must not be so tight.
While in ihram, it is forbidden for men to wear socks, glove, or tie a piece of cloth to cover their head. It is also prohibited for men and women to cover their faces, have intercourse, or hunt, and many more. Any pilgrim who violates these rules is expected to expiate it through animal sacrifice or fasting. However, there are certain things that a pilgrim can do.
There are several things that are permitted during ihram. When the covering of head with cap or turban is prohibited, but holding an umbrella is permitted. Sitting under a roof of a car or a transportation means, any transportation means is allowed, or tent is allowed. So umbrella, there is no harm. Those are the areas where permitted acts. Taking bath while in ihram is allowed. Wearing belt, it's not allowed for you to wear, to put on something, even underwear, while in ihram. So something like belt to hold your money is allowed. Wearing ring is allowed. Wearing wrist watch is allowed. Glasses is allowed. Earphones while in ihram is allowed also. And then killing animals that are harmful to people, like snakes, scorpions, and even rabies dogs that are harmful to human. When you kill them, there is no harm.
Imam Yaqub Al-Hassan says apart from the talbiyah, other supplications are also recommended for pilgrims while in ihram. He then advised prospective pilgrims to seek knowledge in order to understand the Hajj or Umrah.
Welcome back. Up next is the quiz. Welcome to the quiz segment. Our last question on the program was, what period of the Islamic calendar is called Miqatul Zaman? The correct answer is the last 3 months of the Islamic calendar, namely Shawwal, Zulqa'dah and Zulhijjah. The winner is Muzakir Muaz from Warri, Delta State. He provided the answer ahead of others. Muzakir Muaz will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach him with the prize he won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. For this week, the question is, on which day of the Miqatul Zaman do pilgrims move to Mina? And what is the day called? I repeat, on which day of the Miqatul Zaman do pilgrims move to Mina? And what is the day called? Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing. Before we go, let's take some messages from our viewers. Ibrahim Salihu from Niger State sends the first message through WhatsApp. It reads, I am really impressed with your program as you answer the call. I watch every Mondays. Kudos to NAHCON and please keep it up. The second message comes from Maman Wakili from Azare, Bauchi State. The message says, I want to register my appreciation for this program. We are being exposed to so many things about Hajj. I am proud of it. You too can send your messages and comments through our phone number and social media platforms. That's it on this edition of the program As You Answer the Call. Join us again same time next week for another package. Good night and thanks for watching.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك